So the reason I love America Resurgent with Dr. Katz is that here is one man that has a passion, and he's taken his resources, his own resources, and gone out and trying to make a difference. And he's put together men and women that are literally on the front lines of the battlefield, that actually are telling us truth and facts, not just their opinion or emotion or conjecture, but giving we the people facts. And so I have been, this is my second time going to the America Resurgent, and I just really believe that it's incumbent to everybody to get information, whether you know, that's your real subject, you know, homeland security, whether you're really into that or that's really your wheelhouse, is really kind of irrelevant, but you really do need to get educated with the truth and the facts. And so going to, you know, an America Resurgent that Dr. Katz has put together is so critical, because you can be sitting home watching the news and you're not getting factual things. And they're not even telling you the things that are truth. You know, they're just telling you what they want you to hear. And so I believe that everybody should be better stewards of their time. And so for us to be at this America Resurgent was just incredibly insightful, it was informative, and it was well worth my time. What he has just done is he's left a legacy to his 3 boys. And that's what it's all about. What kind of legacy are you leaving to your family, to your children? And he is one man that's making a difference. So I'm very grateful for Dr. Katz. And you know, as our tagline with Women Impacting the Nation is, when we show up, we win. And he's going to be he's a winner in my book.
Okay, well, the genesis of America Resurgent is it's actually the Al and Selma Katz Memorial Conference, and it's for my parents. And the reason for that is this is Delray Beach, Boca Raton area, is the last place I saw them alive. So my ulterior motive, if you will, was to do a conference in their honor, to remember the good times with them, and bring back, you know, comforting memories. So that was the genesis of it. I have done these conferences in the past over the years. Back in the day, we did the Intelligence Summit with Department of Justice Nazi war crimes investigator John Loftus. Co-founded the Intelligence Summit with him. Before that, did the National Intelligence Conference with a high-ranking CIA fellow. And so been doing these since shortly after 9/11, September 11th. And so I decided to, during the prior administration, it wasn't really fertile ground for the conferences. Got a lot of flack and opposition. But now that there's a new sheriff in town, it seemed like a good time to bring back, reinvigorate the whole process. And I liked the name America Resurgent, America Rising Again, coming back to its greater glory, becoming great again, if you will. So that is the genesis of the conference. I've over the years been fortunate to meet a, shall we say, colorful cast of characters, whether in the military or intelligence worlds, of which I have a bit of experience there as well. Spent years in the Middle East. So I have some good contacts and figured I'd put them to use in one of these conferences. And they usually were for military and intelligence types in the DC area, and they used to bring great crowds, 400 or 500. Then I decided to make a turn and bring it, if you will, to the layman, so that they could become more informed about the issues. Because I find, I'm not trying to denigrate anyone, but maybe it's information overload, but people are just not as informed as they need to be to vote intelligently and take action intelligently. And so I figured I'd make a stab at that. And again, on a personal note, I always bring my family to this, and it's to educate my 3 sons, because sometimes the educational system here is not quite what it should be. How's that for diplomacy? So they hear speakers and hear a point of view that they don't get elsewhere. They don't get it anywhere else. So that's why I do what I do. I definitely want to bring it to the future generation. That's why at the conference last night, we had a couple of busloads of students come in from Kaiser University who are in the Homeland Security criminal justice programs. So we had pretty hefty attendance from that group. And that is obviously the future. I mean, by definition, they are young and they will be in positions of power. And so for them to hear a point of view and information that they don't normally get, certainly not in the surrounding milieu, if you will, I figured that was important and is important and always will be. And I'm sort of a fan of the ripple effect. You never know where something is going to lead to. I've had people come back to me years later and say, you know what, Dr. Katz, I came to one of your conferences and it inspired me and I ended up joining Special Forces or something and had a wonderful, fulfilling career thereafter. And it's like out of the blue and you say, wow, what a great thing. I positively affected someone's life. I do think it's important to bring this to the attention of the youth because there is no connection with our military. I mean, I don't know what the exact figures are, but I think it's hovering less than 1%, which is crazy when you think about it. I mean, how can you take ownership in a country? How can you be proud of the country when you're not sacrificing anything? And it also fosters this sense of entitlement, like, why should I have to do anything? I think it leads to the whole concept of the me generation, me, 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 me. Instead of sacrificing, doing something for the greater good. What was it, JFK that said, ask not what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country, type of thing. And that is totally lost. I think it would be a great thing if they brought the national draft back, do something to be a part of the greatest country in the world and add to it rather than just take from it. So that is another reason why I bring these conferences, to foster some enthusiasm there, instead of all this America bashing that repeatedly, constantly goes on, and to also foster an appreciation of our great military. If I can have a little part in doing that, then I feel justified, I feel gratified in having done what I've done. And again, I get good feedback from younger folks that, wow, this was eye-opening. This was really illuminating for me. Thank you for bringing that. And that's always a good feeling. And then, you hear about this one again. I already alluded to someone that joined Special Forces, but the people end up doing something that they wouldn't normally have thought of prior. A secondary mission of America Resurgent, which is to get people on our side of the fence, if you will, working together more in unison, more in solidarity. To make America great again, it's got to be more than just a slogan. I do want to go on record as fervently supporting President Trump's policies, but I'm not a President Trump groupie either. I mean, I see these rallies, and that's all well and good, but what I focus on is policy, okay? You got to know what you're talking about. You got to know where this is going, not just because rah, 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 but because, like I say, politics should be about policy, not personality. But as far as the apathy and indifference of people on our side, that was what I was alluding to in more solidarity and helping with these conferences. I mean, people talk and talk, but they don't do. And if anything, this conference is kind of to light a little, don't want to use any crude language, but as my father used to say, to light a fire under their duff and get them off their duff to do something. You got to do something. You just can't say, yeah, and maybe occasionally go out and vote sometimes. That's how you lose a country. You got to be doing a little something every day, and it's not that much of a sacrifice. But I like to think that what I do well, and some have said as much, but this is what I can do to try to cut through the apathy. Can I do it for someone else? I don't know. I give them the opportunity. They take the opportunity or squander the opportunity. They'll do with it what they will. You can only do so much. Like I say, I take my shot. I give them the opportunity, and if they act upon it, great. If not, it's on you.